Sarah had built her entire identity around being Robert's wife. She had few close friendships outside of their couple friends, had turned down several job promotions to support Robert's career, and had convinced herself that their lack of children was simply God's plan. She was content, if not completely fulfilled, believing that their quiet, stable life was something to be grateful for in a world full of divorce and dysfunction. But contentment built on lies is as fragile as a house of cards. And after 20 years of marriage, the foundation of Sarah's entire world was about to crumble in the most devastating way possible. What she would discover in their bedroom wouldn't just end her marriage, it would end her husband's life. August 15th, 2019 started like any other Thursday in the Mitchell household. Sarah left for work at her usual time, kissing Robert goodbye as he prepared for another day of pharmaceutical sales calls. She had no way of knowing that by midnight, police would be photographing her husband's lifeless body and reading her Miranda rights. The day that changed everything began with a forgotten cell phone charger. Sarah had returned home during her lunch break to retrieve it when she heard sounds coming from the master bedroom. At first, she thought Robert had come home sick from work. But as she approached their bedroom door, she heard something that made her blood run cold. Her husband's voice, but speaking to someone in a way she had never heard before, intimate, passionate, the voice of a man deeply in love. Sarah stood frozen outside their bedroom door, listening to her husband of 20 years speak words of love and desire to someone who clearly wasn't her. The betrayal hit her like a physical blow, but what she heard next was even more devastating. Robert wasn't just cheating on her. He was living an entirely different life, with an entirely different identity, expressing desires he had never once shared with his wife. With trembling hands, Sarah quietly pushed open the bedroom door. What she saw would haunt her for the rest of her life. Robert sat on their bed, partially undressed, engaged in an intimate video call with someone Sarah couldn't see clearly. But it wasn't just the adultery that destroyed her in that moment. It was the realization that everything about her marriage, everything about her life, had been an elaborate performance. Robert looked up and saw Sarah standing in the doorway. For a moment, time stopped. 20 years of lies hung in the air between them like a toxic cloud. Robert quickly ended the call and began stammering explanations, but Sarah was no longer listening. She was remembering 20 years of rejection, 20 years of feeling inadequate, 20 years of believing the problem was with